Hey y'all, it's Bailey with Reclaim Grace. I'm so happy you clicked on this video. It is an extra video for y'all this week. Roscoe is shaking my camera stand down here, so sorry about that. But we're working on just some timeless, elegant, thrifted makeovers. Y'all let me know which project is your favorite, and we're going to get started right now. I hope y'all are doing wonderful today. Here is our first project, a wooden jewelry box I thrifted from Salvation Army for $3.99. It's in really good shape. The inside lining of the drawer has a stain on it, so we're going to fix that a little later. But our first step is to remove the doors. I'm just going to unscrew these tiny screws on the hinges for both sides, and then I'm going to start removing anything else that's going to get in my way, like this little metal piece right here that helps the magnet keep the doors closed, and I'm going to remove the magnet up top. I'm also going to remove these little center panels on both doors. Then we're going to start giving this baby a good clean. I'm just using Windex and a microfiber cloth, giving everything a really good wipe down. The hardware pulls on the doors could not be removed, so I'm just cleaning around them. But for the little drawer itself, I did remove those drawer pulls. Now that we have our piece cleaned, I'm going to give everything a good scuff sand, just creating some micro texture that gives my paint something to grip onto. I really liked using my Surf Prep foam abrasive pad while I was sanding these curved areas so it doesn't flatten out the details. I'm also going to scuff up those center panels because we're going to be painting those also. Once I get everything sanded, I'm going to wipe everything off again with just a damp cloth. And I went through a change of heart, I guess, with this project. So you're about to see me paint it white. And y'all, it sat on my shelf for probably 2 months. Yes, it was at least 2 months. It sat on my shelf, just painted with one coat of Fusion. I believe this is cashmere paint, and I'd lost inspiration for it. But whenever the IOD summer release dropped, like inspiration came again. So I wanted to shift gears a little bit. So I needed to pretty much sand off all this white paint that I'm painting on right now, and that's where we are right here. So I sanded what I could off and dusted, all that sand and dust away, and now I'm just going to seal in this wood with a couple coats of shellac because I'm going to be using some milk paint on this project. So now we're coming in with some Sweet Pickins milk paint. This is in the color Lantern. And y'all, I was very, very impressed with the coverage of this color milk paint. It was so awesome. I don't know, like I'm used to using like greens and whites in the milk paint line, but man, this black went on like a dream. I'm just going to paint everything. I needed to make a little repair right here. My door cracked on a seam, so I just used a wood glue syringe to get some glue in that little area and just put some pressure on it and kept it moving. But I'm going to apply 2 coats of this Lantern milk paint to all the surfaces, and then I'm going to do a little something different for the inside. I do not know why, but I keep on saying Like I've said it like 20 times, I feel like. So I'm sorry, y'all. As you can see, I'm going around the little feet. I'm going to leave them raw wood. I really like that detail. And I'm going to try to paint inside of that drawer a little bit, just in case anything shows when I fit the drawer inside. Next, we're going to move on to painting the inside. Yes, you can paint fabric. You just need to make sure your fabric is good and wet. So I misted that very well with my little Dollar Tree mister bottle, and I'm just going to apply a layer of paint. This is very, very diluted since that fabric is watered down and it spreads very easily. I did 2 coats on the inside in that little drawer and on the larger opening section too. I do not show y'all this step, but the little necklace spinny things up top, I end up painting them a gold color, just to let y'all know, because they are definitely an eyesore right now. For the door inserts, I'm going to use an all-in-one paint because I was worried the milk paint would chip all off, and the Fusion paint sticks really good to plastic. This is Coal Black by Fusion, and I'm going to do 2 coats on each side of both door panels. Next, let's distress this baby up. I love a black piece with some of the wood distressing coming through. So that's the reason why we needed to sand off most of that white paint. I mean, look at that. I love that. So I'm going to hit all the high points with a little squishy foam sanding pad. And while I'm sanding, if some of the white's showing, I just try to sand a little bit more so the wood comes through, not the white paint. We did get a little bit of chipping and some cracking going on from our milk paint, and this finish is going to be beautiful. Now, let's add a little something extra to those door panels. This is thoroughly dry. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I know which panel goes in which door, which I still end up messing up, and you'll see that in the end. But we're going to be using my favorite from the summer IOD release. This is Menagerie. Oh my goodness, I love this transfer set. I have about 5 or 6 available right now on my website if y'all are interested in one. That information's linked down below. But we're going to go ahead and start transferring these on. My paint is good and dry. Make sure your paint's always dry before you go in to add your transfers. Why can I say that? Transfers. Goodness. I'm burnishing well with my hands, and my plan was to kind of stagger the design, and you'll see what I'm saying, like adding a single flower up top on the right side, a single flower on the bottom for the left side. But I get my panels confused, and it's kind of too symmetrical for me. But either way, we're done with the transfers. We're going to get these center panels back into our frame with these aggravating little tiny screws. These secure the panel to the door, so we need to make sure we get all those in there and secured well. And then we're going to start attaching our doors back to our main jewelry box frame. Once I got the doors added, I felt like it needed just a little something extra. So I grabbed this vine design from the Menagerie transfer book and I cut it up so I could use it in two different places. And I'm just going to apply those to the sides of the doors. We're going to attach our hardware back on, and then like I said, I did paint the inside necklace holder gold, but now we need to seal up our milk paint. I'm going to use what's left out of this black wax all over this piece. And look how it just deepens that color up. I'm going right over top of the transfers, over top of all the painted surfaces, other than the inside, of course. I'm just going to go ahead and apply the wax to the entire piece, and then I will wipe off and buff in that wax. And I really like adding black wax over a black painted surface. It is a gorgeous look. It kind of makes it look like velvet in a way. I don't know. Y'all look at this shot right here, how it deepens that color up. Oh, I love that. I also sealed in that raw wood on the feet with the black wax as well. And that just deepened that wood tone up. And y'all, look at our finished project. Oh, I love this. As you can see, I meant for my transfers to be different, but it's okay. I still love how it came out. You can see the gold painted necklace holder on the inside there. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this project. I priced it for $47. Moving on to our second project, which is this vintage metal cart. It actually had an outlet on it, just held on with some like bolts and nuts, but I really was unsure about that thing, so I'm going to take it off. I don't want anybody to start a fire on with my project is what I'm saying. We're going to get this baby cleaned up. I'm just using some Windex and a rag, and I realized I couldn't really get it as clean as I wanted, and I needed to take it apart regardless because I'm going to be repainting the legs and trays two different colors. So it was just easier to give it a more deeper clean once I had all the parts detached from one another. This just came apart with a Phillips head on my impact, and I just held the nut on the back side with my finger. Next, I'm going to give the trays a scuff sand with some 120 grit sandpaper. The green spray paint that was on these trays was failing and it was peeling off, so I want to get all that chipping paint off so my new paint will stick, and then we need to give them another good wipe down. Then we're going to come in with some gloss white enamel spray paint, and I'm going to start by spraying the bottom sides of the trays a couple times, letting the coats dry about 20 minutes in between coats. And then I waited about an hour and flipped them over and raised them up on some little plastic cups so I could give the top sides a few good coats. I taped off the wheels so I could not get any paint on them, and with the legs we're going to give them two coats of a gloss black enamel spray paint. I wanted my screws or bolts to match, so I shoved them in a piece of cardboard. This is just a trick where it helps you paint the tops of the bolts. I let everything dry overnight, and then I started putting everything back together, tightening up those bolts with my impact, working one tray at a time. We are going to be using the Menagerie transfer again. There is so many ways you can use this transfer book, and I figured the oranges would be perfect for a little serving tray. So I'm going to get this branch down first because I want this to be the back layer. I want my oranges on top of the branch, and I got those transferred, and then we're going to start positioning our oranges, and they went on super, super easy. After using the fruit, the oranges in this transfer book, I would love to see a transfer book by IOD that's full of fruit. That's really becoming in style recently, and y'all, I wish I had 100 of these birds from this transfer book. They are gorgeous. I sealed over top of just that top tray with a gloss spray sealer, and this project is done. It was a super easy one. Mama paid $15 for it. I'm going to price it for $77. Here is our next project. It is currently laying on its side in my workshop. I picked this up from a flea market for $25, and this project actually inspired the first project. As you can see, we have a chipped foot right there that we're going to be doing some repairs on, and this panel that I'm pointing at right here was coming off, and it was held on with some tacky nails. This piece had quite a bit of damage. Right here on this gorgeous trim was broke off on the corner. The panel on the glass was very, very loose, and I was unsure on how to fix that. So I ended up removing the door. If y'all are not following me on Facebook, you're really missing out. I post things asking y'all's opinion on colors, just opinions on projects, and y'all help me to decide what color to paint this piece and if I should remove the door or not. So, sorry, this is a mold I created with that product I just showed you. That's in my Amazon store. It's a two-part component you mix together and you just form it. So I formed it to the right foot, the perfectly fine foot, peeled it off, put Bondo in it, and then secured it to the broken foot. Let the Bondo dry, and then you can just peel that mold right off, and it captures all the details. So as you can see, I also did a little mold to fix this little corner trim. And if you come right in once that Bondo is dry, like 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes, it is soft enough where you can just use a sharp tool like I'm using right here to scrape off any excess. Of course, you still have to do some sanding and stuff, but this piece is so large, it was hard to record all the like repair work. But as you can see, I removed those panels. So this is like very raw open wood under there. I had to add some glue and some clamps for the legs. They were a bit wobbly. There's that repaired foot that came out great. These legs were very wobbly, so I left those clamped up, and this is when I decided the door, it's got to go. It's got to go. Or actually, I decided after I filled in all the damage on the door, but it's fine. I filled in with some glazing compound. I really like that. It dries in 5 minutes. And it's very easy to sand. So I filled in any dents and dings with that and then sanded that smooth. I taped up that glass for no reason at all, and now we're going to seal in all the wood. I did 3 coats of shellac on the entire piece. I want it good and sealed because we're going to be trying this look right here. I was debating between white and black, but the white won my heart. So we're mixing up some of that Lantern Sweet Pickins milk paint. I ended up doing 7 scoops of the powder and 7 scoops of water, and I mixed that up very, very well for about 3 to 5 minutes. And then I set it to the side and let it thicken for about 15 minutes. So here you can see I decided to remove the door. So then I had to come in with some Bondo and fill the hinge gaps and the little clasp area on the other side. I removed the shelves. I have them set off to the side, and now I'm taking a regular candle that I got from my mom's house, and we are going to add some wax to this piece so we can make sure our milk paint comes back off the way we want it. I just went over the whole surface that I planned on painting, just the outside part. I'm not painting the inside. Roscoe's checking me out here. Dropped that candle probably 5 times while I was doing this. But I'm definitely hitting all those high points and on the flat surfaces as well. Now we're going to start painting. Like I said, we're using that Lantern Sweet Pickins milk paint again, and I am so impressed with this color, y'all. I don't know what it is, but it just went on so smooth. But while I'm applying this first coat, I'm trying to do light pressure so I do not disturb that wax that we applied. So just being conscious of that, doing light brush strokes, trying not to work an area too much, and we're going to get this top section painted. While we are painting this, I wanted to tell y'all, thank y'all so much for y'all's support on the giveaway video. Y'all's comments were just so heartwarming, and I know we all have a lot to be grateful for. I still have not been able to contact the winner, so Miss Nikki Jones, if you are watching this, please email me. My email is in the description box so you can claim your prize. So we applied 2 coats of that Lantern milk paint to just the top of the surface. You can see I'm leaving the legs the wood look. I did have to paint the feet because remember we got to hide that Bondo. So I did 2 coats on the little balls of the feet. And these areas I'm pointing at that look wet, that's the wax. So it's actually not wet. That's just the wax coming through. So this is how we're looking after our first coat. I applied our second coat, let that fully dry, and now we're coming in with a sander. I have a 220 grit sandpaper up here, and I have my electric sander turned down to the lowest setting, so that's a 1. Mine can dial down with the speed, and we are going to go over the entire painted surface. I'm definitely going to hit the details, but we're just going to pull back where we applied that wax and stay away from the Bondo areas because we do not want the Bondo to show back through the paint. But I just love this look of that wood coming back through the black paint. I did paint 2 coats of the milk paint on the 2 shelves that came with this hutch. I didn't show that to y'all, but now we're sealing it up with DIY black wax. I applied 2 coats of wax. I let each coat dry about 2 hours between coats, and this milk paint soaked that wax right up. I really didn't even need to wipe any excess off. But I felt like it needed 2 coats for good protection. I love how it deepens that black color up and shows, and deepens the color of the wood peeking back through that black paint. Here's our cool AI photo. And here is our real piece. I put the shells back in. I hauled it to my booth. And I love how this project came out. It wasn't really too much work. I had it done in about 3 hours. I love how it came out. I'm going to price it for $300. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this one. Hey, and y'all also let me know what y'all think about that 300 price tag. I had 400 on it, and my mom was like, I don't really know about that. That sounds a little too high. And I walked around my antique mall that I have a booth in, and I seen one similar, but in the original finish, and it was 275 there. So I don't know. I thought 300 was fair since I only paid $25 for it. But y'all let me know what y'all think about that price. If you're following me on Facebook, you've already seen some of this, but here is my new booth coming to life. I actually hired this job out, and he did absolutely amazing. Really brought like my dream booth to life, and it's so awesome. It's gonna look like an old Western store. Just to draw customers in. And he really gave me a great price on it. And I love the arched windows. But I'm keeping y'all a little bit more updated on Facebook. But I am so excited to bring y'all along. I'm going to have a whole video dedicated to this booth expansion process. Pretty much from start to finish. Adding the walls, adding the pegboard, painting that back wall, and then adding all the stuff. So here is my neighbor. This a great booth layout too. And then here's me. There's my gorgeous mom right there to the right. And today, which is Saturday, bless her heart, I put her to work helping me bring all my booth stuff into my new booth. I still have to close Lola's in Goldsboro and bring all that stuff over here. So this is just the beginning for this booth, but I think it's coming out pretty good so far. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. I cannot wait to show y'all the actual finished result, but y'all let me know your thoughts so far. I appreciate y'all so much for spending your time with me today. If you got any inspiration from today's extra video, hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. I'll talk to y'all in the comments. Bye.